2 videos in one setting? What? Is this like me even? Hi guys, it's Aniah and welcome back to my YouTube channel. Today, we're gonna be talking about something that is very vital to many artists, and I suggest that you turn this up, listen to this, because I have made this mistake many times. Finding the right sketchbook is very vital to an artist, because if you start drawing in that mug and you're like,
I hate this sketchbook,
your best drawing is gonna be on the worst pieces of pages, and that is bad, because I have lost art to some very horrible sketchbooks, and today I'm gonna save you guys. I'm gonna be Captain Save. Yo, I'm editing that out because what the heck. Anyway, I'm going to be Captain Save artist. Some of you guys on my channel is new beginner artists, and I just don't want you guys to suffer like I did and lose pages, and quality of your art just goes down because the pages rip on you. Okay, so without further ado, let's really get into this video. This is gonna be the ultimate sketchbook review, the do's and the don'ts, okay? Let's talk a little bit about regular notebooks. Let's talk a little bit about this. Yes, I'm calling you out because I know you use lined paper. I know that you use lined paper for your drawings. Well, I'm here to tell you, throw this out. Throw that book out. Toss it. Throw it in the garbage can right now. I went through this phase, yes. But I was also like 9 years old, 10 years old, maybe 11. Okay, maybe 12. Okay, maybe 14. But you get the point. Here's the reason why. I'm not just saying this just because. Lined pieces of paper make it to where like it's just so hard to see your actual drawing. Now, if you like drawing on lined paper and if you want that effect, I know some people that like, you know, use it as like scrap paper to like piece together like a project and put like the lined paper on there to make your drawing like crazy. But if you're just talking about regular sketching, I feel like this is just not the thing for you. Although it wasn't like the most worst, it's very not convenient for your art. You cannot see anything with lines inside of your art. So skip this phase. Do not even look that way when you're an artist. Go to the events section of the store. Number 2, please do not get thin pieces of paper inside of your sketchbook. I have these 2 sketchbooks right here. These sketchbook pages are pretty thick. The quality, I'm talking about, you're going inside the store and when you're searching for a sketchbook, I want you to fill those pages. If you're not filling those pages, are you really doing yourself a justice? Why even come to the store if you're not gonna fill the pages? Like if you're erasing, it won't like shed, stuff like that. If it won't like break, stuff like that, just no. I personally love the sketchbooks of watercolors. Those are made for like water, obviously, when you're mixing like watercolors and water. The paper withstands it. This one is a watercolor notebook. I particularly do not suggest this one though. You can find some watercolor notebooks anywhere. Their pages are thick. If they're not thick, make sure that you check them just in case. This one, the pages are thick inside of there. The reason why I don't suggest this, and I'm gonna get into that next, is because of this brim right here. That's what I like. You don't have to get that, just make sure the pages are thick so they won't break. Talk a little bit about spirals. Okay, spirals. When you're searching for a notebook, You do not want spirals that come out. These particular spirals, they don't annoy me as much because they're in the inside and they have like really tight loops. Just make sure that if you're getting a spiral notebook that there are really tight loops like this one, to where when you're opening the pages and stuff like that, they won't rip out easily. Again, I really don't like the little big holes on the side, but I'm not a huge fan of it, but I'll get into that. This is what typically happens if you have a spiral. I need to warn my fellow artists, because if you're getting notebooks like this, you need to check whether they have tight loops, and also you need to check if they bend or not. The top usually bends. The spiral usually bends, and that's a bad sign. And usually once one little loop bends, all of them bends, and your pages start to fall out. A sketchbook should typically, I don't know the number of pages, but a sketchbook should typically have a lot of pages. And my sketchbooks are pretty thick. Do not get a sketchbook that has very thin pages and not a lot of pages in it, because you will be running back to the store every chance that you get. Make sure that you just get a sketchbook off rip, to where you're gonna be working on it 10 months from now. My personal preference. I've had this probably for 2 years now, I think. Do not quote me on that. But I've had this one for a long time. This is a great quality sketchbook, and I've been using this for a long time. The pages are semi-thick. They have a nice like texture quality going on. Next section of this video is texture. Texture. Based on what medium that you're using, I suggest that you get a texture based on that medium. If you want to try new things, add more sketchbooks that have different textures, because for me, the texture of the sketchbook can kind of determine how the charcoal pencil goes on the page for me. If you're drawing in a sketchbook that particularly has a lot of bumps in it, your drawing is gonna have a lot of gradient. Depending on what you want to portray, you can get texture, you can get on the no texture side. Me personally, I like the in-between. I like a little bit of texture, not too much gradients in it, but a little bit of texture. If I'm not like saying that right, you get what I'm saying? Like, because it's just like, it just comes out better. Last and final thing that I recommend to you guys is that the bigger, the better. When I have a little sketchbook, it makes me think small. It really doesn't give me a lot of room to kind of create whatever I want. I don't have like this big blank space. For the typical sketchbook, they have them in these type sizes, which is like almost like a little bit bigger than my head. I don't like these types of sketchbooks. You guys are like some experienced artists out there. I know some people on my page, like they've been doing art for a long time. Let me know and let the supporters know any quality sketchbooks that you guys recommend. I just went to Five and Below and I got this sketchbook, which is like pretty big. I highly recommend not to get this one because they have thin pages, but I really do like the size compared to a regular sketchbook. It just gives me more space to create. The most important thing for traditional artists is their sketchbook or their utensils that they use to develop themselves. So please take what I'm saying into consideration, and do not hesitate to make these changes for your art, because they will be better for your art. I had to make these changes. I went through it. With that being said, this is the ultimate sketchbook review, and you will not find another video on YouTube that breaks down sketchbooks as well as I did. But I mean, if you did, it doesn't matter. But with that being said, I love you guys. I'm Aniah. This is the Ultimate Sketchbook Review. And I'm signing out. Peace. Just in case you guys thought I was joking about my sketchbook knowledge of the sketchbooks that I went through.